The first principle is going to be do what you want to do if you know what you want to do. If you have some sort of idea of what you want to do in this life, which I feel like all of us do know what we want to do deep down, we just suppress it because in society we're taught to go to school, go to college, and then get a job because if you follow your hobbies, you're not able to get paid from it. And if you follow your hobbies, you're gonna be homeless and under a bridge. But in reality, I just feel like that is not true. If you want to be a basketball player, become a basketball player. Practice every single day. Embody that person that you want to be. If you want to be a photographer, take pictures every single day. Edit your photos, post them on Instagram onto a page that no one knows about because you have no judgment on that page and you're free to do whatever you want. And that is a great place to start at. Just practice in your hobby or whatever thing that you want to do. Make sure that that is what you're focusing on. Don't divert your attention onto TikTok. Don't divert your attention into politics. Don't divert your attention onto these celebrities because guess what? When you are older and you reflect and you look back on your life, you're going to think back to you when you were paying attention to all the wrong things. And you're going to be like, damn, I really wish I paid attention to myself because your inner guidance speaks so loud when, we're a child and like we have no things that are distracting us. We have nothing that is distracting us. And we have no people that are distracting us besides having to go to school. But I really feel like all of us have some sort of hobby or thing that we do outside of school that we genuinely enjoy, and make that thing that you want to do, make it the main thing. Don't get sidetracked. Don't go spreading yourself too thin because you heard some guru bro talking about that. It's mandatory in order for you to hit a three-pointer on the court, you have to meditate 20 minutes a day in order to make your mind sharper. Like, yes, sure, these habits are great, and I feel like they're great habits to have, but if you're not even consistent with the first thing that is going to make a genuine impact in your life, which is the main thing, always make the main thing the main thing. I feel like that is something that I neglected a lot. I was always looking into my main craft, which has been YouTube since I was a little kid. I've always been fascinated in cameras. I've always been fascinated with just speaking to myself, speaking on camera. And even when I was a little kid, I would literally pull out my old phone, and I say old phone because it was my mom's phone and it was passed down to me as my first phone. So I would pull out this phone and I would just speak on camera. I would be like, so we're just at the park today, and I'm here with my friends and I'm chilling, and later I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna eat this and I'm gonna do that. And it was like my own personal diary. But as I got older, I feel like a lot clouded my mind. you know Even now I still sort of am working through getting over the feeling of not being in the right place to create. But in all reality, I have all these things that go on in my life, and I feel like you probably do too. You have school, you might have financial struggles, you might struggle with the people around you, you might have negative friends, and you have all these things that you're also working on. But make sure that you're diverting your energy into the main thing. Whatever that main thing is for you, like I said, divert your attention and energy into that when you're able to, because I know it can be hard, as someone who's had financial struggles, as someone who still has financial struggles, as someone who constantly thinks about, what am I gonna have in my future? What is my future gonna be like? Someone who overthinks. I genuinely understand how it is to always feel like you're in behind with the way social media portrays things. But I'm just here to remind you that even at the age of me being 19, I still feel like I don't have it figured out. And I'm here to tell you that most people still don't feel like they have it figured out. But one thing that you should be certain with is what you want to do in this life. And if you don't know what you want to do, try things out. Try drawing, try painting, try documenting your life and sharing it on social media. Try whatever you think you're good at. Whatever you're good at, you could turn that into a career. Whatever you feel like you are very inspired to do every single day, you can turn that into a career. and you can make money off of said thing. So just try things out and don't be afraid to take risk. Do not be afraid to take risk. If something is legit, then go for it. Go after it, because you will never have that moment in that time and opportunity ever again. So why wouldn't you do that for your future self? Principle number 2 that I would honestly recommend to absolutely anybody is to keep learning new things, and also make sure that you are learning new skills as you grow every single day, and just keep learning new information. I feel like a lot of us are limiting ourselves and our brain capacity to only scrolling on our phone every single day. I'm a victim and honestly a person who does this too. I'll be laying in bed and you'll feel totally comfortable and fine with just constantly scrolling on TikTok and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. But that scrolling isn't doing anything but wasting your time. And that time that you are using to scroll, you could be developing a skill or putting that time and effort into whatever it is you want to do in this life. And I feel like it's important to take time for ourselves. I'm not saying to always be disciplined and to always, do the thing that you want to do and that you should do, because I think, time away is important. I know all these people push, be so disciplined that your brain is gonna pop out of your head, or be so disciplined that you're tired. If you're not tired, you really don't want it. But honestly, I feel like that just leads to burnout. When you're spreading yourself too thin, as I said earlier in this video, when you're constantly being disciplined but never taking time out for yourself, that is how you lead yourself to burnout. I don't care if you even find your hobby to be so easy that you can never see yourself burning out from it, because listen, it hits all of us in different ways that like you wouldn't expect it. So just make sure that whatever you're doing, be consistent with it. That doesn't mean push yourself even on the days that you feel like you're sick and you're gonna throw up. Like, that doesn't mean don't rest when rest is needed. So it's just really just about listening to your body and your brain and figuring out what amount of output you can put out, and make sure that you're also restoring yourself with a healthy balance of input. You have to realize that in order to grow, you have to take that leap, and you have to be willing to learn new things, and know that when you are learning new things and you are developing these skills, that you're not going to be good at them the first time you try them. You're not going to be the best painter ever as soon as you touch that piece of paper with your paintbrush. You're not going to be the best artist as soon as you start doing anything that requires you to be an artist. For me, as an example, I turned on this camera, and there's even takes in this video that I didn't do a good job of speaking in, and I wanted to quit because I feel like I'm not the best speaker on camera. I feel like, at first when I turned on the camera, I was very performative, and to some degree, we're all performative. But it's not about being the best, it's about developing your skill, and eventually, if I stay consistent with this, you are going to automatically get better at anything that you stay consistent with. When I first started this camera, I couldn't even get one full sentence out. It's been months since I posted a video, but you have to realize that in reality, no one's perfect. Not everyone's born with natural born gifts and just the ability to succeed at everything that they do. And most people have to actually go through trial and error before they see success, or before they see some sort of baseline value of being good at something. So don't expect to be the greatest at whatever you start or whatever you do. But like I said, whatever you feel called towards, try it. Do that thing. Principle number 3 is going to be have some type of schedule every single day. And I mean every single day. Even when it's the weekend, have some type of schedule for yourself. Even if you are going to be on TikTok more than you are on the weekdays, even if you aren't going to be working on the weekend, have some sort of schedule for yourself. And the cool thing about having your own schedule is that unless you really want to follow it to the T, you don't have to follow it to the T. If you don't want to do your schedule exactly how you organized it, you don't have to. You can just have a to-do list that you plan out every single night for yourself the next day. And I know it sounds so cliche, but I feel like the most consistent I've ever been in my life was when I started to journal on physical paper. Physical paper. Don't be putting your habits and your goals and the things you want to do inside of your phone. Trust me, it hits way harder when you journal it. There's just something so different about putting your goals and your habits and your daily schedule on a piece of paper. And when you are using a journal, make sure that whatever journal that you're using, you have it somewhere that it's accessible. Because if you have your journal that you're using to plan your days and plan the things that you want to do and the things that you want to achieve away somewhere that you can't even find it, like if it's too low on your nightstand, like for example, my nightstand has a lower level. If I keep my journal down there, chances are I really won't pick up my journal and use it. So I always try and keep it on my nightstand somewhere that I can easily grab it and use it and it's accessible. And when you're writing in your journal, just put in for your next day, every single night, what you want to do. What do I want to achieve tomorrow? What are some things that I know that's good for me that I can start doing tomorrow? What is the things I need to do tomorrow? You know, what is the main thing that is going to drive me towards success that I can do tomorrow? I feel like structuring it that way is very easy. So have the main thing at the top of your list. If you do want to structure it this way, it's totally up to you. Write in your journal every single day what you're grateful for. You can also do things like a brain dump. So just writing down whatever you have in your head at the end of your day down on paper. It eases your mind and it makes things so much more manageable for you to actually see the progress in your life and the things that you're thinking. And it sort of allows you to get a third person perspective of the things that are going on in your life and in your head. And I know it's so easy to say, well, I can just do that by analyzing my brain as who I am currently, like as the person I am now. Like you can hear that inner voice, but I feel like it just makes it so much easier when you put that inner voice onto paper. Like we don't really take our inner voice seriously because most of us are controlled by the things that our inner voice say. But what you have to realize is you're not your inner voice. You can hear that inner voice talk. You can make that inner voice say whatever you want it to say. But there's also things in programming that goes into what your inner voice says every single day, what your inner voice thinks, and what you also believe that you have to think from your inner voice. So it's just nice to have it down on paper. You know, I've been journaling since I was, I believe, 14, I want to say. But I wasn't consistent with it, to be honest. I feel like only the past like year or two I've been consistent with it. But I've noticed like while being consistent with it, it's helped me realize so many things that I wouldn't have realized if I hadn't started journaling. Just make sure that you have some sort of structure to your days. Having some sort of habits that you commit to is going to help you so much in life, and it shows yourself that you're able to commit to something and that you're able to be disciplined and build from nothing into something. If you do need some sort of place to release your thoughts, to plan your life, buy a journal. They're so cheap. You can literally get a journal at the dollar store, a notepad, some type of place to track your progress, track your habits, analyze your mind and your thoughts. And I highly recommend. Principle number 4 is going to be leave dating and romantic relationships alone. And here's what I mean by that before you click off of this video and it's like, oh, don't have relationships, I can't have a relationship. No, what I am saying is you are still developing. People are still developing. The person that you have a desire for is still going to be developing in said relationship. Even if y'all get together and you ignore what I'm saying, both of y'all are still going to be developing, and you two are young. And I know it sounds dumb, it's like, oh no, that won't happen. But I feel like most people, while they're young and they're constantly chasing relationships, because a lot of people our age do chase relationships, they end up going for things that they don't understand is bad for them. And let me give an example. So you might find someone being a very clingy person to be attractive, but that could also come with a lot of negatives, because a person who's very clingy usually has an attachment style that is very anxious, and that can cause problems and issues if you're the type of person who is not that attached and you feel like you need to have that space and have that balance in the relationship. And when we're the age we are, we don't have the words for these type of things. We don't have the development to understand these things, even though I think it can be learned. A lot of us aren't taught about attachment styles. A lot of us aren't taught about our love languages or the things that, you know, you should know about relationships. A lot of us aren't taught in seeing relationships that are healthy. So we end up getting into relationships broken and damaged, or we end up getting into relationships not understanding things that you should understand before getting into a relationship. And I'm all about learning. I believe that if you prepare before the storm, you won't have to prepare when the storm hits. So I'm not saying you have to be perfect and you're not worthy of love where you are, but what I am trying to say is don't make relationships and dating the main thing. If you do that, you are probably not going to be at the place that you want to be at when you're leaving your teens. And I feel like a lot of people in my life growing up, a lot of them didn't develop into the person that they wanted to become simply because they got into relationships too quickly. They started getting damaged from these relationships, and then the damage that they got from that damaging relationship, they took that with them, and then they started damaging other people in their new relationships, and then the cycle just repeats and repeats and repeats until they realize that they need to take time to heal themselves. And that's not to say that the right person will never cross paths in your life. And that's not to say that if you believe someone is the right person for you, to not go after them and to not show interest in them, even if they show interest in you. What I'm saying is to be very cautious when you are pursuing people, when you are dating. Just take these relationships, especially if you're younger, with a grain of salt. And it also just shouldn't be your main priority. I believe that if you are going to have a relationship young, make sure that you guys establish boundaries, make sure that you guys establish each other's routines, make sure that you learn about each other, make sure that you are listening to that person. I feel like so many people in relationships now, instead of having that eye contact, instead of listening to your partner's desires and listening to your partner's concerns, a lot of people are like this. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like you are talking to that person, you hear them, but you don't feel them. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are like, oh, I can multitask, but it just shows a level of respect when you genuinely care and have that eye contact and you're actually listening to the person that you claim that you love and the person that you do love, if you do have someone that you love currently. And just make sure that you're present in the relationship and that you don't make it your main priority. Too many people get engulfed by their relationship and don't get to hit their true potential. You can start dating once you are more developed, once you're more established. There's nothing wrong with waiting. Don't feel pressured by all these relationships online and these people in your life dating people and making that their main thing. It's okay to not have a relationship. It's okay to have a relationship deeply with yourself. And I think having a relationship with yourself is very important to having a healthy relationship, because you have to know what you want before you know what you want out of another person. It is just important to have time with yourself, and most people don't realize it, but the people that you're around or the person that you're around a lot can truly impact you. And that's why, again, it's so important to have somewhere where you can put your thoughts and your habits and your patterns down onto paper so you can truly see things for what they really are and situations for what they really are, because that is so important. Even in a relationship, I think time alone is so important. Then yes, trust your intuition. I always say trust your intuition. And some of you might not even know what that means, but trust, it's your inner guidance. It's that feeling that you get before you do something that you know is good for you. It's that feeling that you get after doing something that you know is good for you. It's a sense of like having no doubt about a person at all. It's like you just know that this person is going to be in your life for the long haul. You just know this person is aligned with you in the things that you're aligned with, you know they're aligned with them, those things as well. And if you know you have to put your head down and you have something more important, focus on that. If you're going to get into a relationship, make sure it's not the main thing, and that's okay. And if that person doesn't respect that that relationship isn't the main thing, then honestly cut that person off, because you should be in a relationship, and yes, there is periods where the relationship is going to have to be the main thing, but if it's always the main thing and you have hobbies, goals, and aspirations, and your relationship is taking away from those things, and your partner is telling you that your relationship is more important all the time, cut that person off. Trust me, it is not good for you. I hope, you know, some of the things I talked about in this video brought you some sort of guidance and wisdom. These are things that I'm still implementing myself, and I'm still learning as someone who's 19. And trust me, I don't even have it all figured out. I'm recording this video right now, not even knowing if it's going to reach anyone. And yeah, that's just the beauty of life. The beauty of life is you never know where you are going to be in the next 3 years. All you can do is plan and do the things that you know you should do today in order for that to compound and impact your life years later and years to come. I will be seeing you guys very, very soon. I'm taking the time to journal more. I'm taking the time to be more introspective. I'm taking the time to allow myself to create where I am with what I have and with what's happening in my life. And you are worthy of creating at any point of your life. You are worthy. Take these principles and also use them in your life before you leave your teenage years, or you can honestly use them in your life at any time. I believe all of these habits, all of these principles can be implemented into your life at any point, and I hope it serves you well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.